What's happening, guys? Welcome back to another video. So this one's mostly just going to be about how we keep up with the demand of the amount of plants that we need. I'm going to go over a new nursery we have a little bit, and some other things. We're going to be posting a couple of videos. I am a little bit behind. Um, we've been crazy busy here on the homestead. So really, it's pretty simplistic for me. Those of you that have been following us through this journey, uh, we were plugging a whole lot of seeds, and obviously the majority of them were not going to survive. I was having to take care of them myself, amongst some other things. So what I'm doing now is I'm doing plugs. So at the beginning of season, I do seeds because it takes about 2 to 4 weeks before they're really, ready to hit dirt, and kind of start getting weaned from the inside conditions towards the outside conditions. So it gives me about a month of leadway, whenever we're trying to start our garden. Once our garden gets going, cloning is the name of the game for us. So even if I do drop seeds, the majority of it's actually going to be started outside, just all outside in plugs. And what that means for me, for example, this would be a good plug. It's very small. I just transplanted this yesterday. It is a clone. It's in our rooter over here, the 8 spot rooter. And so basically, I just keep the cloners full. Um, and I just put enough dirt, just enough dirt, for it to develop a root mass, so I can just plug that in the ground. This will probably spend a couple days inside, just because I did, root it inside, and it'll go out to our new nursery. If you haven't seen the new nursery, stop, go check out the new homestead update video. There's gonna be all kinds of stuff that we've done in total. Um, so another good example, as you've seen in the cloning video, I like to take tomato clones, and you can never really have enough tomatoes. Um, so something like this, it's just a cup from someone's trash. I think I got this from work. Someone threw it away. I just happened to grab it, plug some clones in it, put some water in it, and we're on our way. Um, so basically, I had been scrolling through Facebook, my favorite place to shop for things, um, and there was a post here in town. Oh, excuse me. It's early in the morning, guys. So, anyways, I'd seen a post here in town, and they were getting away of a storage shelving unit thing. It was pretty much hand built out of like 2x4s. Some I think there were some 1x4s and plywood. It was a nice little setup, kind of sturdy. Something that I could easily throw some plastic or some tarps on, and we would be on our way. I took that out towards the garden. It's sitting underneath a tree, and again, you'll see that in the other video I told you about. We'll be posting soon. Um, and I kind of decked it out a little bit. I put some wire around it so I could hang some different tools. The herb garden, I took it out there. I modified an area for trees and bushes, shrubs, and stuff, so that way they would be doing better. They would get a little bit more light exposure than what they were getting, but still stay a little bit cooler. There's a mulch layer and some things over there. Dragged all my pots and all that stuff over there. Um, so anywho, uh, it's kind of modified. It makes it a little bit easier. I also modified our watering system there a little bit. Since the actual sprayer that I use and the nozzle comes from the exact same outlet as my automated garden sprinkler. Again, those of you that don't know, go check out our homestead updates. Pretty cool stuff. I added on a carbon filter directly on the spigot, and then I put a split one going to the timer, so it's always on and it goes to the timer for the garden, and one that I can just kind of turn on and off, hooked up to a hose with the sprayer. Honestly, I'm loving it. Cut my the time that I take care of stuff in half. Amongst other things, we've mostly just been working on automation, just kind of upgrading. We hit something of like an industrial scale lately. We've been making, like I said, a lot of different stuff. Plants being one of them. Uh, we are attempting to sell some clones. I'm not really pushing heavy into selling. Um, we don't really want to make money, like outside money. Really, we just want things to be self sufficient. So we tend to just shoot for making what it costs us. Um, you know, so, anyways, yeah, that's pretty much it for the nursery stuff. I'm thinking, yeah, it's really it. It's not too crazy complex. That's just where we are now. Again, it's not as much work as it was at the beginning of season. Not only are we because of our upgrades, but also I did have a nursery set up outside. I was kind of doing the same thing. Um, Really, it's just easier to mess with clones than it is to mess with seedlings. Seedlings are very, very sensitive. Clones, I mean, you get so many of them, it really doesn't matter. I mean, if you have 20 tomato clones for a standard tomato and you got three different types of tomatoes, so you're looking at almost 60 clones by the end of it. You can pull those, all of those sets for the majority, at least 3/4, you can pull roots on them within under 2 weeks on average, depending on conditions and water and all that. And then I give it about a week or two in a plug, at best, before it hits the ground. So, I mean, generally in under a month, you can produce almost 40 plants, and that's just tomatoes. So, since our nursery size has increased, we will be able to plug more plants in a little bit more efficiently. So whenever I do go, start plugging things in the garden, it's not going to be 5 plants here, 10 plants here. It's going to be, a day's worth of work, which I would much prefer. Just kind of get it knocked out all at once. Days like, recently here it's been a little bit rainy and stuff. Again, you'll see, some mushrooms and stuff have been popping up, different mycelium, very, very active. But it's also a sign that it's a little bit too wet too often in the garden. Um, so, you know, days like today and stuff, it's really good to go out first thing in the morning or like last thing at the end of the day when it's starting to cool off and go, plug in those plugs. Um, they adapt so much faster. So instead of it taking a week or two for them to recover, and a week or two for them to start rooting, and then a week or two to produce, pretty much within a week or two they recover, they'll root, and they'll start producing. Um, and that's the other cool thing about clones, guys. Look at this. It has a flower, and I just cloned it. That flower has been developing since I've been cloning it. So the plant never stops growing. I mean, they just get aggressive. And again, in the video, you will see the difference between our seedlings and our clones. I mean, just the clones are shooting right past them. In fact, most plugs that you get at the store in the garden market are generally going to be clones. It's not really worth the seeds as much, just because, like I said, it's so easy to clone once you get the hang of it. Yeah, so that's pretty much it in terms of how do we keep up with the demand of plants that we need, and how do we have the excess to trade generally. We, like I said, we try not to sell things here. We generally end up trading. I actually have another trade I'm working on now. So that's going to be it for this video. Again, I'll be posting quite a few videos today, just updating on everything we've been doing. So stay tuned. Have a good one. Don't forget to hit like, subscribe, leave a comment. Anything you think about these videos, anything you want to change, anything specific you want us to bring up. I love doing these things for you guys. So y'all have a good one. Be nice out there.